Welcome into Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I am Will Scott, bringing you today's latest Celtics news and Celtics rumors. And there was a very interesting report by Steve Bulpett from Heavy.com. Bulpett used to work for the Boston Globe. He's very well connected with all things Celtics. Here's what he reported. The Nets have certainly been engaging in trade talks, at least since word emerged in late June, that Durant wanted to be dealt. But Brooklyn has been seeking high-quality talent and multiple first-round draft picks for the 12-time All-Star and former league MVP, and no one has yet offered a package approaching that haul. Now, here's where this report gets interesting. There was a recent report that the Nets had weeks ago turned down an offer of Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, and a first-round pick from the Celtics, but others have disputed that such a proposal was ever truly on the table. So that coming from Steve Bulpett, who put out a very interesting article about the Kevin Durant trade rumors. Now, obviously, KD has been linked to the Celtics after that Charania report that the Celtics had offered a package for Kevin Durant. However, it's possible that package did not include Jaylen Brown. Now, this is why you should subscribe and turn on your notifications, because we're trying to become one of the best Celtics YouTube channels, one of the most followed, and trying to get more people to turn on their notifications. So if you haven't already, go down, hit that bell to turn on notifications, set notifications to all. It's the best way to stay in the loop with Celtics news and Celtics rumors. Let's continue to go through this report from Heavy.com because a league exec spoke to Heavy.com. I think there's some teams that aren't very happy that when they talk to Brooklyn, it gets in the papers. This is the league exec talking. That doesn't help. I've talked with a couple of teams that are not happy with the rumors that creep out there through all this. It's not a good way to do business. That's probably why they haven't gotten anything done and why they haven't had any conversations for a while. I don't think they are going to get anything done with Boston. So that coming from the league exec who spoke to Bulpett. Bulpett put out this article about updates in terms of the Kevin Durant situation. We're going to get into more details here in a second. First, I want to hear from you down in the comments. Do you think that the Celtics actually offered Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant? If you believe they did, if you believe Charania, type B. Or if you don't believe it, if you think it's fake news, type D down in the comments section. It is the pinned comment on today's video. When an ad break comes, take advantage of it. Go down, chime in the comments. I think this could help repair the relationship with Jaylen Brown if this report is fake. If the Celtics go to Brown and be like, Shams is wrong, this is incorrect, we never offered you in a trade for Kevin Durant. But I still think the Celtics were interested in Durant. I still think they offered a package, but maybe that package was a bunch of picks. Maybe it was Derrick White, Peyton Pritchard, a bunch of other role players, and not Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. That would certainly be the hope, because it did appear that Brown was pretty frustrated after the fact, because hours after this report came out from Shams, obviously we got y'all video that morning on Celtics Today, but right after we posted that video, you saw JB tweet, shaking my head, so that had Celtics fans a little bit concerned that maybe a trade request to be coming. But then another report came out that JB wants to remain in Boston, even with these KD trade rumors. So this could go a long way in repairing the relationship with Jaylen Brown, who is a free agent in 2 years. Bulpett also said this: source tells me Kevin Durant is expected to meet with Nets owner Joe Tsai this week. Here is what that article said that Bulpett tweeted out. I have no idea what's going to come out of that meeting. There are some things that KD is unhappy about. Yeah, no shit. And I'm not sure any of that gets fixed here, but maybe it does. That coming from Steve Bulpett. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting meeting. I'm curious to hear what comes out of that, because you have Kevin Durant. He requested a trade last month. He's not very happy about things, how things are going in Brooklyn. They, of course, got swept by the Boston Celtics. Let's not forget that in the first round of the NBA playoffs. So he requested a trade, but the Nets have not been able to find a trade partner. The Celtics, one of the interested teams, but the Nets want the biggest package of all time for a guy that's going to be 34 by the end of the season. They're not going to get what they want, but you're going to get what you want if you go to chatsports.com/Tatum and pick up this fresh Jason Tatum jersey, a great deal we're giving you here on Celtics Today. It's at a discounted price for a limited time. Go and take advantage. Chatsports.com/Tatum. Getting back to kind of what I think about the Kevin Durant stuff, I doubt any KD trade actually happens at this point. I think he's going to remain in Brooklyn. And no, I don't think he's going to sit out. I think he wants to play basketball, but I think he's going to come to the conclusion that a trade's not going to happen, that the Nets are not going to get what they want for him. And keep in mind, KD still has multiple years left on his contract. It's not like he's a free agent next summer, and the Nets kind of have to move him because he's going to leave and they won't get anything in return. So I don't think a trade's going to happen, and maybe something that comes out of that meeting will be KD taking back his trade request. But this is all great news for Boston, that it appears in terms of momentum has been lost on the KD to Boston rumors. I think that's great news because Boston right now has the group they need to win a championship. They were so close to winning it this year. They didn't, but they got better as a basketball team, bringing in Malcolm Brogdon and Danilo Gallinari as well as a few other pieces. So I think it's an exciting time for the Celtics. They have a good group right now. Do not break up that group by trading for Kevin Durant. Now, how relieved are you that a KD deal probably will not happen? Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comments section. Go down, chime in. What do you think? How relieved are you? Let's talk about Matt Ryan. And I had to correct producer Trace because he's like, wait, is Matt Ryan going to switch sports and play for the Celtics? No, Matt Ryan, Celtics Matt Ryan, might not be coming back to Boston. We're going to break down the details here in a second. First, go and like the video because we're trying to kind of increase our audience here on Celtics Today. We're trying to kind of tell more people about our channel. Liking the video will help us reach a wider audience. Go down, hit that thumbs up icon. But you have Matt Ryan, who signed a 2-way contract with the Celtics in February, appeared in one game with Boston, kind of became a fan favorite on the Celtics bench mob, if you will, and had a pretty good showing in the Celtics Summer League, hitting that game winner. That was a lot of fun to watch, but he injured his ankle, and we didn't see him again in the Summer League. And, of course, he's going to be fighting for a spot on the Celtics roster this year. Here is what Heavy.com Steve Bulpett said about this situation. The Celtics also signed second-round pick J.D. Davison and Fiondu Kabengele to 2-way spots, so Ryan can't be signed to that specific contract like he was towards the end of the 2021-2022 season. That coming from Bulpett, so that kind of complicates if Ryan is going to be back in Boston because he can't get a 2-way deal. In order to stay in Boston, he has to get a full-time NBA contract. Now, do you want Matt Ryan in Boston? Do you want him to stay with the Celtics? Type Y for yes or type N for no down in the comments section. Go down and let me know. I know he's a fan favorite. I would love to see him back, but it's going to be an uphill battle. He's got to fight for a spot on the roster. They've signed a couple guys here in the last week. It's going to be very tough for Ryan to make this roster, but I hope he does. I'm going to type my Y for yes. Let's get into some NBA.com power rankings. They released their Eastern Conference power rankings on NBA.com at the start of this week. So let's break them down. Indiana Pacers, who traded Malcolm Brogdon for a Sam Adams beer. I think that's even disrespectful to say. I mean, it was a bag of chips. I mean, Sam Adams beer is more valuable than what the Pacers got for Brogdon. They're number 15. Orlando Magic coming in at 14, followed by Detroit, Charlotte, Washington, 13 through 11. Top 10, the Knicks are number 10. They have not made a trade for Donovan Mitchell yet. They're not going to move up unless that happens, so they're probably a fringe play-in team, to be honest. Cavs, Hawks, Nets, Bulls. Getting into our top 5, the Raptors number 5, Miami Heat number 4, Philadelphia 76ers 3, Bucks 2, and number 1, your Boston Celtics, and they should be 1. They're number 1, and it really isn't even close. They won the Eastern Conference last year, even after starting 22-20, whatever they started. I mean, it was an unbelievable run at the end of the regular season. They take that momentum into the postseason, make it all the way to the NBA Finals. The Celtics are number 1 on these power rankings, and it really isn't close. They're going to be the favorites to win the Eastern Conference next season, and in my opinion, probably the favorites to win the NBA Finals as well. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, go down and type real one down in the comments section. That's kind of our motto now at Chat Sports. If you're a real one, go down in the comments and type real one.